why did you leave London? Why did you leave Britain generally, as it's such a great country to live in? And why would you go to somewhere like Turkey? I have to say that I have very little attachment to the social behaviours that are now so common in my country. I think when Muslims come to London or to the Lake District or to Edinburgh, we can float through on a cloud of beautiful tourism. But what you don't realise, oh brothers and sisters, is the deep ingrained social rot that the people of my home country, my people, my original heritage people, what they're suffering. Do you know what it's like to walk down a road, walking your children to school, and every 10 or 20 metres at any time of the day, you are inhaling clouds and clouds of drug smoke? Can you imagine what that feels like? I come from that background. I used to smoke, a'udhu billah, and I'm telling you this because I reject it now. It's so harmful to the psyche, to rationalism, to good governance in our own lives and homes, subhanAllah. So you're walking your kids to school and you smell a load of smoke, drug smoke. And that's not the problem. The problem is that if you were to complain to a teacher about it, they'd look at you as if you're the problem, the extremist, because at the end of the day, why shouldn't people smoke drugs in public? I remember a few years ago, actually it was in 2012, it was the Olympics, and the Palestinian team had come over to London in order to take part in different events. And they asked me, several of the competitors, can you take us out for a day, somewhere nice? And so being a Londoner, and although I was Muslim at the time, you know, being used to that environment, I said, let's go to Hyde Park. It's a beautiful park, not too busy, it's summertime. Guess what happened in the park? And this was in Ramadan, they were fasting, the poor things. Almost complete nudity amongst some of the women, subhanAllah. We had these young men and women from Gaza looking at their hands going, a'udhu billah, trying to keep their fast in a park. And that's not the worst of it, because people just showing their flesh is neither here nor there in a non-Muslim country. But what about when they're pressing against each other, kissing, fondling, again, in front of children, again, just in front of our eyes, again, that and much worse. It's a very unpleasant situation. So the parks you can't really go to in the summertime unless you can kind of switch your eyes down and try to ignore the smell of the marijuana smoke and the lurid behaviour. Allahu Akbar. That's a lot of our space gone. And right now it's 40 degrees in London. So it's not that easy. It's not that beautiful. SubhanAllah. What about evenings? In the Muslim world, the evenings are for families. Families are everywhere, right? We're in the streets, we're by the beach, we've got balloons, we're on the promenades, we're having fun with our families going for desserts and ice cream. In London, it's quite rare, or Manchester, or the other big cities, to go out in the city centre after dark. Are you crazy right now? You'd never take your kids out there. You don't know what you're going to see. Well, you do know what you're going to see. I come from a family of alcoholics, unfortunately, and I was formerly married to an alcoholic. I was, before Islam, I would say borderline alcoholic myself, maybe a high-functioning alcoholic, which meant I could keep on working, but I binge drank. I would drink myself into a stupor, maybe just once or twice a week, but that's okay, right?
Do you reckon you drink too much?
On a night out, probably yes, but what else can you do?
On the weekend, I probably do drink quite a lot, so I would say binge drinking occasionally.
Do you drink to get drunk?
Yes.
I think we all drink too much. Don't show my mom.
What does that do to families? The smell of alcohol makes me sick now. And so, with all these different social factors, I give you one more. Teaching children that they are any gender and no gender. Saying to Muslim children, a Muslim boy called Muhammad, you don't have to be a boy. Don't tell your mummy and daddy, but if you want to be a girl, we can take care of it for you. And young girls getting sent things through the post to strap down their teenage growths and make them insecure, more insecure than they already are, but now doubting that there is even such a thing as a woman. I'm not the only one moving to Turkey, although it's got a lot harder now. The families here from Canada, Australia, UK, yeah, those are the main ones, subhanAllah, but there's also some Polish sisters and some Latvian sisters, but mostly it's the big Western countries. They just want to save their families.
So I was living with my family and it was just so toxic and it was really beginning to affect my mental health. So I thought my best option would be probably just to move out and get my own space.
They want to be able to speak to their children about having principles, faith principles, and ethics in the way that they want to speak to them without that being undone or being branded, you know, wrong or extremist, subhanAllah. So yeah, here we are in Turkey. It's imperfect and perfect. We have to respect the home nation. We have to respect our wonderful hosts here in all their arrays, subhanAllah, and I hope that we can do that, inshallah. So would I recommend making hijrah to Turkey? Well, I would definitely recommend living here if you can. Would I call it hijrah? No. Would I call it moving to a Muslim country where you can hear the adhan? That's true. Where you can get salamed in the streets. But I do pray that there's a big gathering here of minds for the good of the ummah and the world, and that we find our peace and our places to rest and be safe away from marijuana smoke, the lies about transgender, the difficulties about alphabets, subhanAllah. Protect our children into the next century, inshallah, protect our planet and look after one another. If you are in a Western country, I pray that we can all get through this difficult time together, inshallah, and that you find your space. And please, wherever you are, my dear brothers and sisters, don't negotiate with the truths of Islam. We have something to offer and people need help. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.